Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hannah H. Tarindra, the Area O2 Director for District 74, Toastmasters International. I would like to start this small presentation by quoting a question asked by our District Director, Andrew Tsuru. He asked, "Are you a Toastmaster or you a paid up member of Toastmasters?" I was blown away. And it made me think, since October, which was over 200 days ago, how many people have actually just been paid up members of Toastmasters or have been Toastmasters? And how do you know and distinguish one from the other? Of course, speaking from the Toastmasters International perspective, we ask these questions in the past over 200 days, which is about 28 weeks. Have you managed to finish a pathway? And how many projects are in a pathway? About 14 minimum, because there are some electives and you could do more. But let's say you do the minimum. That's 14 projects in the past 28 weeks, which means you could literally just do one speech every 2 weeks. And you could do these speeches outside your club. Yes, it's allowed to do a speech at work and ask for a Toastmaster to evaluate you. All you have to do is invite them for the speech or for the event that you'll be presenting at. The other thing is you can do your presentations in or out of your own Toastmasters club. So you don't have to do it at the club that you are based at. That's why it's Toastmasters International. You can visit other clubs. And the joy of it now, post COVID, is that you can either do your speeches or your presentations online or offline. It's absolutely up to you. So, have you finished a pathway? Have you triple crowned? And this means finishing 3 levels. Have you at least finished 1 level or mentored a new Toastmaster, which happens usually after your level 3? And has a great guide on how to do it. And have you led or have you been part of a Toastmasters organizing committee? If you have been part of organizing a meeting, kudos to you, or a conference, or an event that wasn't that was unique to Toastmasters or your area or your division. I'm just asking. These questions are for you to answer yourself. Outside Toastmasters, have you used transferable skills? Are people beginning to notice the difference? Has your boss decided finally, within these 200 plus days, hey, let's give this guy or this lady a promotion? Have you been selected to lead where otherwise before October people would just look you over, whether it's at church, at home, or at work? Remember, Toastmasters is not confined to the club setting. Your skills must be transferable to the rest of your life. Have you been on an international stage? Have you spoken at a UN conference or maybe TED Talk, or even introduced a distinguished guest? In your personal life, have you successfully mediated and resolved conflict? Because this is a transferable skill which comes from being a Toastmaster. And lastly, have you been able to partner with strategic people in your line of work or area of interest? Maybe you feel like you want to move from one area to the other. Have you looked for a Toastmaster who's already in that and succeeding and asked them if you could watch them do their work or they can give you some pointers? All of this to help you improve or start new ventures. And these come from transferable skills found at Toastmasters. But you might say life does get in the way. You may have tried, but external issues came along, a death, an illness, or any other unforeseen predicament. Or you've been attending meetings but quietly, sitting in the corner and admiring all those people who are improving themselves. Or you may even say, hey, I did a few table topics at least, but haven't managed to actually sort out a speech and be able to deliver it. Or you are still not sure how these days have gone by, and you were shocked when I told you it's more than 200 days since the 1st of October. Or worse still, you are still confused about how things work at Toastmasters. Now, that would be very sad if that's your reason for not having moved up in terms of your Toastmasters journey. But can all this be remedied? Absolutely. And here's how. In the next 100 or so days, you can start off by revisiting your reason for joining Toastmasters. Sit by yourself. Remember, it might you are probably the first one who made the call, or someone invited you, or your HR, if you're in a corporate group, said, "Hey, we now have a Toastmasters in the office." And what made you raise your hand or agree to be put into such a situation? Revisit your reason for joining Toastmasters. If it's a good reason and you think that you really can gain from this organization, I suggest having a meaningful vision board or list of things that you believe Toastmasters must give you when you're done with your speeches, with your leadership track, and whatever else you believe you can get from Toastmasters. Then list your Toastmasters priorities. Of course, paying is a good priority, but also how many speeches are you going to do? Remember, you can do 2 speeches per week, per month, and that's really not much if you want to make a change in your own life. And if you're one of those people who said, "I'm still confused," please get yourself a TM, a Toastmasters mentor. Remember, this is your journey. You have to be aggressive towards making your life better. But you can do all these things that I've mentioned and not commit. After you've decided that, yes, this is the time for you to change and you need to get better, I suggest strongly that you commit to the commitment of being a Toastmaster, not just a paid up member. At the end of the day, I just want to conclude by saying setting goals is great, it's fantastic, but achieving them is the point. Yours truly, Hannah H. Tarindra. Bye.